What is going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? Greg and John here today to watch the final episode of Secret Invasion today. And before you guys ask where Coy is, we have no idea where he's at. Based off of knowing Coy, he is more than likely asleep right now.
Yes.
In traditional Coy fashion, he is not fulfilling his contractual obligation and is missing the final episode of the Disney Plus Marvel series. That's just the way
It's tradition.
Coy operates. Just like at our Comic-Con panel, he was nowhere to be seen for the first half of that entire time.
But he got there eventually. So who knows? Maybe he'll show up for the last 5 minutes.
Well, actually, Miss Marvel, you missed the final
I
episode.
know, it was the one where he filled in.
And then he was here for it, so
It's the
I'm the
cosmic
only
balance.
reliable one around here.
Yes, truly.
Guys, I did want to say a thank you to everyone who did attend our Comic-Con panel. It's some of the compliments that we got, even from the tech team there, where they came out to us while the other panel was going on. It was so unbelievably kind what everyone was saying to us, and it was such a blast. With that in mind, too, you guys might have seen I was drinking G Fuel when I was there, and there's a reason why. G Fuel is arguably the best brand that Real Rejects has ever partnered with. Yeah, guys, there's a special code in the description box to get yourself a discount on select tubs there. I think every single flavor we've ever had has been delicious, and I rely on them. They got me through Comic-Con. They get me through most days of the week. I sincerely mean that. So thank you to G Fuel for sponsoring this video, and I shout you guys out even when you're not sponsored for a reason, because I really do love them, and it's a great way to support the channel by getting yourself some G Fuel. With that in mind, leave a like on this video. Also, be sure to check us out on Patreon as well, where you'll catch the full interaction, watch along for this. Thank you to all who have joined us. Let's get to it. All right, let's do this. Let's do this 20-minute episode of the finale where nothing will be rushed. Purple scroll blood on the wall.
Coy?
This is the first time you called this number in years.
I have dialed this number 1,000,000 times.
Bitch!
Know if you'll be coming back?
All right, I'll let you go now.
Oh,
You don't have to if you don't want to, darling.
go to her.
Take care of yourself.
Priscilla will return.
I'll get the romance I keep begging for. Whoa. Not bad.
It's actually a cool shot. Yeah, it's a really cool shot. They couldn't tell that from the distance.
Oh. I know, right? Yeesh.
Damn, Fury, how'd you set that shit up? How long was that car going for?
What happened on that motorway was an all-out assault on our republic, orchestrated by the Skrulls and the Russians who are giving them safe haven.
Discretions.
Negative.
I suggest you move on to doing what it is you were summoned here to do. Present the President of the United States with his options to Russia.
You know, Rhodey, you've had a lot more propaganda in your language lately.
Your rhetoric is really through the roof.
What are we looking at here, Colonel Rhodes?
I love that Dermot Mulroney showed up to have like 5 lines in this whole show.
Yeah.
Now, sir, if I may, I've taken the liberty to prepare a rough copy of your remarks to the nation.
Carpet bomb.
They need your leadership. They need to understand who's responsible for this. And it's the Russians, 100%.
It's the Russians. It's the Russians. The Russians. Russians.
The Russians. It's always the Russians. And a little bit of the Skrulls.
So you think this is Gaia? I think this is Gaia.
Yeah, it's gotta be Gaia. Radiation poisoning.
God, Gaia's really in character. This episode's bringing back a little bit more of that cinematography I was admiring in the beginning.
Start strong and strong, baby.
You have to get him out of there. Fury's headed straight for you.
Smart.
He wants Ritson stopped before the bomb is launched. Move the president now.
Oh, maybe she's Gaia. They're all Gaia.
What a badass entrance.
Where is everybody? Locked away. Looks like it's just you and me, Fury.
I need a lozenge.
No more protection for you. How about a drink instead?
That'll do the trick.
Yeah.
I put a lot of sugar in it for you.
Sweep every floor, lock down the elevator. National security threat.
Whoa.
What?
It was Ant-Man.
Using my skin like a costume.
A costume, Fury. Do you not recognize this skin? This face. This was the first human I killed.
An Abercrombie model?
I killed him because you told me to. Oh, wow.
Oh, it just doesn't stop.
Everything's your fault.
I killed him, and I killed so many more. And everyone I killed took a little piece out of my art.
Blames him for everything.
I'm supposed to be like Talos and put my trust in you. You pimped us, Fury.
Ooh.
And when you were done with us, you threw us away. So, first, I'm gonna kill you.
No. He's in the Marvels.
Impossible.
So I am absolutely clear about this, Fury. You look at me. Look at me.
Look at me.
And the massacres and the wildfires and the imminent removal of humans from their habitat. That is all you.
That is some good acting.
They were condemned to die the day I realized you weren't a man of your word.
It's okay for Skrulls to go to therapy.
BetterScrolls.com.
You're right. I failed you. I failed you.
I'm sorry.
I knew the only way for me to keep my end of the bargain was to build you a home here.
Why didn't you do it?
Oh,
It's easier to save the lives of 8 billion people
weird audio.
than it is to change their hearts and minds.
Sure.
The last thing I felt before I flaked off.
Flaked off.
Relief.
Sure.
Relief that I didn't have to fight anymore. That I finally had a way out.
I believe you actually said, motherfucker.
I felt responsible for you.
Doctrinated you.
I should have taught you
Ooh.
to never give up the fight.
Who's doing this killing?
I've decided to give you what you want.
Oof.
Carol Danvers' DNA.
No way.
Whoa.
Take your powers, go to some other planet, wipe out some other species. I don't give a damn.
Really?
Call off the strike and save your people.
Oh. I think the radiation's eating your brains, mate.
What's the ultimate plan here, Fury?
Coughing is an act.
You have a War Machine suit.
And you're protecting the president who was just attacked by what you telling people are Russian and Skrull forces. Put it in the crisper. Whoa.
Damn, like everyone's name is here.
Sorry,
Rockstar's
Gamora.
gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
It's the entire Endgame cast.
No checking behind the doors. You really are a Skrull.
I don't know what it is you think you're doing, but if
No
you don't-
buts. Just yours back into the hallway. Go on.
Has she been doing all this herself?
That's how it appears right now, but I mean, she's like invisible.
Yeah.
Maybe she got powers we don't know about. Fury's gonna get powers.
Yeah, what are you
too.
doing?
Makes you buffer.
Goodness. He does look like Abomination.
She-Hulk season 2. Yes.
What is happening?
What powers did you get? Hulk? Hulk Fury.
Cue that AI music.
Oh, there you go.
It was a Gaia.
Well done, girl.
Oh, Nick Fury really was going. Should have put that together right when we realized that was Gaia.
You killed my mother, my father.
Prepare to die.
I am the Mandarin.
You're flailing. You're weak.
Wow. Drax arm.
Yeah.
I think he did sprout an abomination arm.
Oh my goodness.
Phasing?
Like Ghost. Korg.
Korg, yeah, I was gonna say Korg Groot.
Wow. This
Chitauri.
Is
Or not Chitauri, Frost Giant, maybe?
I think it's Frost Giant. Yeah.
He is a Skrull.
Shoot him in the hand.
Skrull rebels have kidnapped dozens of world officials, along with Colonel Rhodes.
You're positive the president isn't a Skrull? Oh. Happening more! Oh, this is like more secret invasion because of like amount of powers they're adapting.
Yeah, and they're doing them like quadrants of the body.
Just stay the course, all right? And all our enemies will be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
It's a great argument there, Rhodey. Captain Marvel!
Yeah, woo! Zam. Power battle.
Mantis!
Oh, nice. Sleep. Did he have a Thanos arm? Like a big purple arm.
Holy shit.
That was a pretty cool job. Yeah. I'm all of a sudden excited for Gaia. Hope she doesn't die now. Let's go.
Yes.
Oh.
Just like your father. Just like them.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh my god. And just like that, he's dead.
Yep. So long, compelling villain.
Didn't really make much of a moment out of that, but okay.
Nope.
So he's dead. Yo!
Whoa. Right in the forehead.
Oh, it's fine.
Jesus, somebody give me the phone.
There's parts of that fight that I thought were really cool. It is also what the She-Hulk finale was making fun of.
It is. I wonder if he'll regenerate or something. Just to maybe flip that on its ear a little bit.
The real
Hey,
Rhodey! The real Rhodey!
Get this man a suit.
The real Martin Freeman! Just the actor playing himself.
I'm an agent? What?
You've been held hostage for a long time.
For how long exactly?
I totally forgot about, oh yeah, they might be down there.
Yeah, right.
The terrorists responsible were a shape-shifting, alien-born species known as Skrulls.
But they're not all bad.
I'm presenting to Congress for immediate emergency authorization a bill that designates all off-world-born species enemy combatants.
Oh, boy.
And we will kill every last one of you.
That is not what Nicholas Fury was hoping for. He is returned to form without making a moment out of it. He just walked into frame.
Yep. He's back. Cue the music.
The trailer had more of a moment out of it.
Don't worry. We still got like 5 minutes left, G. They can still put a punctuation on this.
Walk into frame.
I know who I am when you're not here. It's when you come back that I start to wonder. Did you fall in love with me?
Yes.
Or the face that puts you at ease?
The fetish is what he fell in love with.
Love you, Priscilla.
I love your ass.
You can find a way to forgive me. You know where to find me.
I'm sorry.
I thought the direction of that scene was done so flat.
So weird.
We meet at last.
Oh, complementary colors. Opposition.
You'll need resources to fight this war that Ritson has launched on your people, and I can give them to you.
The British versus Americans.
Well, let's be sure not to repeat the mistakes of Talos and Fury and leave love and friendship out of this.
Cool.
I will use you, and you will use me, and together we'll make this planet safe for both our people.
Kinky.
50 Shades of Gaia.
Yeah. Dude, Gaia and Sonia will return.
What the hell is all this?
This is how the enemy got so good.
What are they going to do?
You took a bad situation and made it worse.
Oh, no.
One-term president stuff.
That's real. Harrison Ford is
We have
replacing
to
your
act
stuff.
now.
Oh, my God.
Damn! Oh, jeez.
Did not expect that shit.
Wow!
Now you got dumbass vigilantes killing innocent humans, too.
Oh, this is bleak.
When they're not going to kill themselves.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, we needed more of her. She's awesome.
If you truly care about the Skrulls, get them off my planet.
It's not your planet.
How long do you think we're going to forget about this scroll plot point in the
Still
Marvel
phase
movies?
6 or so.
Hold a minute.
How hard it is to hold this thing still.
Is she going to go with him?
Yes, do it. Go to him.
Whoa, this is so like E.T. Close Encounters shit
Yeah.
right now.
Romantic encounters of the third kind.
Priscilla.
Vara. Now that humans know we're among them, I'd like to use my birth name.
Vara.
Good news from Saber. The Kree said they're open to peace talks with the Skrulls.
Are they setting up Marvels?
Yeah. Which friend reached out to you?
Kree said they're open to peace talks.
What do Skrulls call good luck? Bad luck.
Stop it. It's a good thing.
I don't know, man.
My help.
Hell, with this, this peace summit.
This Kree summit.
I'm no good with people. You are.
You got your own way.
Oh, cool.
I'm sick of
I
it.
guess the scroll thing's going to actually factor into the Marvels.
Could do.
Please, come with me.
Come with me now.
I'll help you get started.
Huh?
But then I've got to get back. All my work is here, darling.
He arrived alone, and now he's leaving with someone.
Yeah, full character arc.
I just wanted to tell you that I love you. As I am.
Aw.
Only as you are.
Ah, you too.
She's the best character of the show.
100%. She's
Yeah,
the heart
lay
and
one
soul.
on her. Yeah, lay one on her.
Yeah. Look how far we've come.
Oh, this looks like cover art. I like it. I like the way this looks.
Actual romantic moment. Now let's get the hell out of here.
There they go. There they go.
Oh, what a great last shot. Two become one.
The show's over.
And I guess Agent Maria Hill just is dead.
Yeah, it was the first episode that said it didn't have her as a guest star. Moment of truth.
Moment.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Coy was asleep.
You got something back? What'd he say? Damn it, man. You missed so much.
Could have pointed out the one or two power sets that we did not properly call. Well, I'm sure Screen Crush Heavy Spoilers and New Rockstars are going to have fun breaking down and deciphering every single power that we saw in that fight scene. I don't. That's not what we do. What we're going to do is give our analysis and commentary, of course, a review of the episode and factoring our experience of the entire season as a whole as well. That's what we want to do today. And I'll let John go first, since John tends to be the nicer one always out of everyone who ever comes on this channel.
That's right, kind Johnny. This was a decent finale in my eyes. There was certainly this exemplifies a lot of the things that the show has been up until now. There are a lot of really nice scenes. I think this is one of the better-ish overall episodes, but the season as a whole has had this quality of certain parts are really cooking, certain things are very intriguing, certain relationships are easy to really latch onto, and then other things feel a bit perfunctory and feel a bit kind of rushed and sort of by the numbers, or at least like they could have used an extra ounce of inspiration or oomph or something. And
no,
what I know, I'm saying, I'm the hot takes today. All right, I'm saying what no one's brave enough to say.
There are
about
worse.
this show.
There are worse finales of on the Disney Plus show.
Oh, certainly.
More disappointing ones, I would say.
Yeah, and there are probably more inconsistent shows than this one. Like ultimately, I liked.
No, this was on a steady deconsistent. This is on a steady decline. It naturally got there.
It was on a gradual slope down to being fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all ended on a fine note.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want the response to this to teach the wrong message, because I really like what this was going for, and by extension, I think the easiest Marvel series up until this point to compare this to would be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that was another show where I was like, I really like what you guys are going for, and obviously that was hampered by other circumstances, but both of them are shows where you're like, you got close to something really interesting and cool, but you kind of settled for a surface level depiction of this kind of conflict. And again, I don't want to keep harping this point, but in a post-Andor world, you just know that it's possible to reach those heights of all the cool sci-fi shit that we want out of this franchise, plus real world ruminations and, gray areas of socio-political, economic espionage and things like that. I like this as a wrap-up to especially... I mean, Nick Fury and Priscilla is the best part of the show.
Name's Vara.
Vara. Sorry, I didn't mean to
get it right.
Dead name her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's easily the heart and soul of the show. I liked some of the wrap-ups in terms of, finally getting to see some of those powers come to the screen. But for every piece of praise I have to lump on this, as there's also a gripe or a complaint or a nit to pick.
You don't have to, John. You could be the guy who likes everything.
Whew, okay, I loved this, you guys. Best finale, best show, most consistent content out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Quote me on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really obvious that it was going to be Gaia there. Did it make sense to me that Nick Fury would show up for the fight? I'm really conflicted about a lot of that. The fight in and of itself. And I have a dichotomy about it, in the great words of Coy genre.
Oh, duplicitous.
I do, because there's so many things I liked about it, and then there's so many things contextually that I'm like, but wait a minute. Then that's where I'm really coming from here. I really thought Gravik's speech the entire time he was lamenting his sorrows, his pains upon Nicholas Fury, and all the blame for his actions are just being projected onto him the entire time. And it was a really impactful moment. And the first 10 minutes or so of this episode, I did think they were they're going back a little bit more to what I was really loving about this show within the first two. I'll even get to the first three the things that I still loved about the first three episodes. And then of course the speech that Nick Fury is giving back. But the fact that it's Gaia's the one who's saying it, I'm wondering what my takeaway is. Is that supposed to be Nick Fury's arc? Or is that Gaia coming to an understanding finally, of this is what her dad, why her dad believes so much in Nick, and now she sees the perspective, and now she's on that side. Did she have this conversation with Nick Fury? And now she's like, my last time before I flaked away. I'm like, was this a thing you discussed with Nick?
Yeah, between the last episode and this one, Nick was like, here's everything you got to say.
Yeah, because she's not cerebrally hooked up to him, and the way how these other Skrulls are. So to me, I'm like, whose arc does this belong to right now? Is this a Gaia arc? Is this a Nick arc? Is this anyone's arc? And that's why I feel conflicted about that moment, because it was really apparent that it was going to be Gaia. And then the plan in and of itself, I thought was a little ridiculous. Like, that could have gone so awry. That could have gone, I don't think that was thought out at all of what she did. I'm going to give him this, and we're going to battle it out.
Well, it counts so much on him being okay with Nick being in the accelerator machine, the reactor, whatever it is, as well. And it's like, he could have easily been like, no.
Well, beyond that, it counts on the fact that she would, like, they don't know what powers they're going to get.
Yeah.
And while I think there's something so cool contextually about everyone having this amalgamation of a billion different power sets that are all coming through, and it's cool to see on screen. And for someone who read the Secret Invasion comic book, I'm like, all right, now we're doing a little bit of Secret Invasion stuff. Like, we've had the whole paranoia thing down of who's a Skrull, and now we're doing the element of watching a Skrull adapt powers. Now they're just combining it all into like two characters, right? And visually, it wasn't bad to me. I think it's Marvel, especially. It's an easy thing to knock at when it comes to their visuals. And I'm like, come on, we've seen worse.
Oh, sure.
We've seen worse. And all things considered, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, there's something pretty cool about it. But like I said, the idea behind the plan is a little too far-fetched to me, and it seemed like an excuse to go down that Disney Plus route that She-Hulk directly makes fun of for what the shows do.
Yeah.
To get to the point with big VFX fight scene thing.
Especially with two characters who have all these personal charged stakes pointed at each other to just culminate in, like a smash 'em up battle, and then Gravik just gets murked on the spot. No, unceremonious death. I mean, like, you get the speech, but that's pre-fight. You need a moment after the fight to send him off, at least.
His death was so lackluster, the way that went down. Just an easy beam to the chest, I thought it was such a weak death scene, especially for such a great, like a really well-written and well-performed villain.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, I did not like that. And what I don't like in situations like this, especially, is them learning powers, is them going, I'm looking at it, all right, I got it.
I can just imagine what to do.
Yeah, and I generally don't like that at all. Like, no, there should be some figuring out of what to do.
You both
even Captain America, when he's first running in that movie, he's like, "What? I'm running?
Well, this is way faster than I'm used to." Yeah, and they're each being overwhelmed with an influx of like every conceivable power from everybody who showed up in the Endgame battle, pretty much. So. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're immediately jumping to like, I got 4 quadrants of my body, all different powers, and I'm wielding them dual, and it's no problems whatsoever.
I think it's really cool. I thought there was like cool parts to it. Overall, the Gaia character, I think Emilia Clarke, I think she showed up. I think Emilia Clarke really did her best. I don't feel like the show ultimately gave her much to do in the end. I think that her character was underserved, and it's Emilia Clarke, who I do think is a really great actress, and I wish that they gave her more substance or something more to chew on versus what we ultimately got here.
Giving her moments to Nick Fury.
Giving her big moments and giving her stoicness. And it's an interesting thing they leave off on her with her and Olivia Colman, and like them teaming up, and she's gonna have this like the most ultimate Super Skrull, the only truly.
I mean, she seems like one of the most powerful beings in the whole MCU.
Yeah, I'm like, you seem like you can beat like everyone.
Yeah, you got Captain Marvel powers, and Thanos powers,
like
and you
she's
got
overpowered.
Powers, Ice Giant powers.
Frost Giant, Frost Beast, Frost Giant.
Yeah, Frost Giants, and Thanos, and
you got
Ghost,
everyone,
and
everyone
characters who haven't even been named in the universe yet.
Massively overpowered. Massively overpowered.
Yeah, and from like the good, from the hero and villain sides alike.
Yeah. It's a little ridiculous. And you thought people were like Captain Marvel overpowered. Like, what's this guy? You know, like that is so crazy to see what she can do.
Cool to behold. The imagery was very cool. Like and that was the most exciting. Like I think her best character scene was in an episode or two ago with Vara when they are bonding. That's like easily the most vivid Gaia character moment. But in this episode, I mean, you know, I did like that they. Even though the Nick Fury thing is kind of confusing, like her getting to at least talk about the release of Death, I thought was kind of like a moment where they sort of overlap, and you're like, okay, I can see where you two have sort of a similar experience here, but
perhaps.
But yeah,
Ritson, I think that so much of the interesting, nuanced commentary, where I was crediting this show so much for not being a black and white conversation, suddenly everything devolves into a black and white conversation. And
yeah, he just becomes a dick.
Yeah, with Ritson especially. I'm like, yes, I think, like, is that the likely response if we're going off of real world situations? Of course. If we're thinking topical, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I do think the way the show handles this like slingshot effect, though, especially when Nick Fury was the one who saved his life. And Olivia Colman does. It's both Olivia Colman and Nick Fury there. I'm like, what was the conversation there? Because clearly they must have had a conversation with the president that did not communicate to him. Of like, actually, it's a little bit. There's some bad ones and there's some good ones. Just like how there's some good humans and some bad humans, you know.
Well, and Talos,
Talos saved his life.
And that seems like something that Nick will go out of his way to communicate.
The fact that they don't even have this conversation pop up in the show is really upsetting to me.
Yeah.
When I'm like, that was the whole freaking point of Talos saving him. That was the entire point.
Yeah.
So his death goes unjust in that moment. So that's annoying to me. There's a lot of problems I got with this film. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of issues with this.
Yeah, and funny enough, for I feel like we've all been sitting here on a lot of these lately, going, man, I wish they would like kill off some characters or make some stakes. And I feel like this series killed off a few characters, and yet I feel like in some ways those characters were less, killed for a great impact or some kind of massive change, and more sort of slighted because, like, yeah, if this is the last we're going to see of Talos or Maria Hill, I don't think it ultimately served the entirety or some big purpose to do that, especially if we're not going to come back around and go, hey, this guy sacrificed himself for you. Let's get some kind of memorial now that this whole fight is done for Talos or something. Because it's a character I feel like people like and have been endeared to, and is one of the shining parts coming out of Captain Marvel through this.
Yeah.
And I mean, even Maria Hill, like I always got excited to see her. She gets a prominent presence in the first episode, and then once we move past that, it's just kind of done.
Well, they had her funeral, and he talks with her mom, and you think there's going to be some
like
type
the
of
top of episode 2.
Yeah, you think it's going to be some personal conquest that Nick Fury is setting out on. Does not go that way.
Never really think of her again.
Yeah, it doesn't really come back around. It's
comes up
more
in
like,
the
I don't want to be
video.
framed for this shit.
Yeah.
That's where it ends off on. So, okay, I get the setup. It's like, it seemed like they were just in a hurry to get to the plot setup for where the Skrulls go next. It segues into Marvels, where obviously the Kree are going to be in Marvels, and maybe they will actually address the whole Skrull thing, which is a big deal for Korean Skrulls to possibly get the hell along. It's a big deal. And I hope the movie does it. I hope the movie shows that, or unless like we solved it off screen. I don't know what they're gonna do, but cool, fine. I guess I'm excited for that. But yeah, I mean, I liked Nick Fury and Vara's final moments here. There are things that this whole thing with I can't believe in the trailer they had the whole thing with the reveal of Nick Fury will eventually come back to being, him.
Yeah.
And then here just like walks into the house.
Yeah.
Like they'll make a moment out of it. Yeah.
And I can
and not that I'm like
understand-
itching for that so much. I'm like, you could have just treat it like it's nothing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's torn between being those two different kinds of shows, the version where it's like badass comeback, finally I've returned to my full form, versus going like understated and more intimate with it. And I feel like here postures the intimacy and mostly leads with that like hey kind of energy, and then in moments like that will like randomly go flat, and I can't tell if stuff was retooled or if there were just certain things that they were more enthusiastic about than others when it came to like really bringing these moments to life on set. Like it is like an odd show because it doesn't feel as like jagged and inconsistent as some shows do, but it will travel from feeling quite inspired and quite punchy to feeling like, again, perfunctory a little bit or sort of workman-like.
Yeah. I mean, I like the darkness of the final moments where you're seeing humanity start going crazy and just like taking things into their own hands.
Unsettling.
Yeah, because it's on like national television, and
when it feels real, it's just so kind of harsh and stark, and just like, oh wow, like those people just got mowed down.
No, it's
in a TV studio.
At the same time, I do think the show's pacing undercuts the moments so much.
It just felt like it had to move so fast that it couldn't really sink its teeth into
like,
any of the things it tried to do.
You had 2 really long first episodes. Like, what mandate was ordered?
Yeah, who decides these things, and why are all the show like why is there a consistent issue with the lengths of these shows?
Well, it jarringly became shorter.
Yeah,
it jarringly became
and it
shorter.
kicked into like a higher gear.
It went from like almost an hour long for the first 2, which I really liked both. And I know there are people, like I saw people in the comments in the last episode going, "This is probably my favorite episode," and I'm that's good for you guys if it is your favorite episode. I cannot say that anything has reached the heights of the first 2. Following this, I think this is better than episode 4 and 5. I like this more than episode 4 than I think I do. I don't know. I really don't. I don't even give a shit, honestly. I don't know.
Rank all the episodes.
I don't.
1, 2, 6,
it's
3,
like
4, 5.
1, 2 were great, and 3 was the second one below them, and then after that, it's just 6, a mix.
4, 5.
It's a mixed bag to me for 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, this was overall the finale of it all. I thought was very much. I still thought it was a mess. And while there were some exciting moments to be had, I still thought it was very messy. I didn't dislike it to the point of. See, the thing is, like when I think about Moon Knight and I think about Hawkeye, I remembered the penultimates really liking.
Yes.
Yeah,
being like, whoa, this could maybe like nail a killer
and then
finale.
the finales, I was like, oh shit,
wrap this all up.
yeah. Where here, I was like, well, the show's been going downhill for me, so I'm not exactly disappointed.
But like, you couldn't leave us with like 50 minutes.
I'm like, I had fun. I'm not going to think about it ever again, probably.
To me, this is like the most consistent of the inconsistent shows because the ways in which it is inconsistent are quite consistent across the show itself. Like, I like the tone and the atmosphere and most everything.
I think that gets so lost, though, over time. Like, the scene work remains, but, all that stuff gets lost.
No, I'm not going to pretend. Like, this is a show that is marked to me by the potential. It's like there are moments when it's hitting the potential. There are a lot of moments when it's not. I like the general veneer of what the show is, and I hope that they don't decide not to pursue this flavor in the future, because it does feel a bit different, and it does feel in that more, again, espionage. Not to everyone always pulls Winter Soldier, and this doesn't feel exactly like that, but this feels, like, the kind of government conspiracy side of all this superhero, infused world. And I like that they spend the time and energy to do that. I wish they could iron out the consistency factor, because this is, it's like when it's flat, it's not terrible, and it's not like completely out of line with what's come before. It's just, it just doesn't have the room to breathe.
Well, guys, those are my thoughts. I don't. If you don't really want to watch the show, I think you could just. I think out of all the shows, this is the one you could just read what happens in it.
Sure.
If you really don't care to watch, out of all of them, you can just like look up what happens in it if you want. What did you think about it though? What are your thoughts? We're here to just share ours. That's our review. So leave your thoughts down below.
Decent show.
Hopefully Marvel's is good. And,
Hopefully so.
And we'll see how much they factor in humanity worried about scrolls moving forward, or unless it's just another plot line that is introduced, and we ultimately don't really think about it in the end. All right, we'll talk with you all soon. Thank you to G Fuel. I gotta edit.